Oh, shoot. What's up, guys? Here I am just staring at other things right now. So, luxury did, I was looking at, I played with Unicorn the other day. I'm pretty sure you saw. Um, I didn't realize they did this, but the Grome, they broke the Grome. So, on console, on PC, it's got a 100 millimeter. Okay. So you're rewarded with, like close quarters engagements or, dealing damage or really anything else and actually providing skill. On console, though, they were all like, hey, you know what? We're going to raise the caliber of the gun. It's no longer a 100 millimeter. It is now a 162 millimeter gun at tier 8. So during the time that I played it, it is no longer a 168. Well, a 100. It's now a 162. So I'm kind of blown away by their logic behind it, because 162 millimeter gun, there's a reason why they tried to rebalance the BZ-176, but instead they brought in a new BZ-176. Here we go, it's finally loading. There was one thing I wanted to look at, which was, I was playing on the European server. Dude, I had like no connection on there. Tier 9 heavy tank. When was the last time I played my E75? 11/6/2024, a year and a half ago. Okay. That's what I wanted to look at, because they're going to be buffing it. I wanted to play it, but I couldn't remember the last time I played it was. Yeah, you love it, but you got to remember the Grome's got a 62% win, no, 54% win rate right now in tier 8, like for global. It is the best tier 8 in the game, and one of the biggest reasons for that is because they gave it that 162 millimeter now, which is absolutely broken. Alrighty, so the buff list that's coming up. I actually want to go over a couple of the tanks and take a look at the armor models that they're going to be doing. So a lot of these have already been covered on other channels. So the 420 buff for a lot of the 105s and the Americans. The Patton's getting a 50 hit point increase, terrain resistance readjustment. I actually don't know if you're going to be noticing much of a difference with the terrain readjustment. Like, they'd be better off giving this thing a higher top speed, maybe 50. Currently, I think it's at 45. Yeah, it's at 45 right now. So if they were to bump it up to 50, that would make it a real big difference rather than giving it the additional terrain resistance. So that's confusing. 420 alpha. T95V6 is going to be bumped up to 440. It's kind of confusing in like why they bumped these up to 420 to begin with, and then they're doing another buff again. Like, I don't feel like there's been enough time that has gone by to make it make sense on why they're buffing these again. So that's the way I feel about it right now. MBTB, they recently buffed it to 430. Now they're bumping it to 450, 440. So even though they're removing rapid loading with all these alpha changes at tier 10, you're not going to really notice it inside these tiers. T57, it's got the 420 to 440 alpha, which is kind of ridiculous, knowing that thing can clip out very quickly. 1 second increase to reload, 2.3 aim time from 2.5. I'm not a fan of the T57, but it's alright. Just not a fan. Readjustments on terrain resistance for the T50A heavy, okay. Tier 9 and 46 Patton. This thing definitely doesn't need a buff, but apparently it does. They're buffing the, is that the stock turret? Turret 1? Yeah, it's stock turret, turret 1. Because that's 1700 hit points rather than the 1800 that they're going to be doing. A lot of dispersion value increases. They're removing steady aim, but they're buffing all the accuracy, and that confuses me. Moving the 105s at tier 9 to 420 alpha, it seems like it's going to be. Yep, T54E1 heavy tank, 420 compared to 390. M103, 440. Currently it's sitting at 400, 420. Hold on a minute. 120. Okay, that's what's going on. That confused me for a moment. I'm looking at this like, wait, why is the standard round less damage than the premium round? No, that's the stock T122. Is that APCR or is that heat on that round? 705, I think, was just like a reload buff whenever I looked at it earlier. AE Phase 1, the 440 Alpha, Concept 1B to 430 from 400. I mean, this is a 110 millimeter, so 430 is completely fine. I would prefer the reload to stay the same, though, just because it's a 110 and the slight increase. Like, that is not worth a second increase for 30 additional alpha. This is a nerf, in my opinion. This is beyond a nerf for the Concept 1B. Just because you're getting the finger for 30 extra damage. You see, like right here, T30 is getting a 0.4 second increase for 20 more damage. Like, what's up with the entire second on the Concept 1B? TS60, reload increased. I played this a little bit ago. Actually doing pretty good. Put it on the European server. It was laggy, but it was fine. 440 alpha from 420. AAT60. This is an outright nerf, and this is a joke. Increasing the gold cost of it, you're not buffing the armor. You're not buffing anything about it. It's already a good tank. You're bumping it up a tier, and then you're telling everyone, hey, you got to spend more for this now. This is kind of messed up in my eyes right here to increase the price compared to what it was prior. That's like saying that you can take the T32 premium tank and bump it up to tier 10 and charge $100 for that tank, even though it's a T32 at tier 10. T26 Pershing. A lot of people have already gone over throughout the day, but I want to go over a couple of the readjustments on the armor. That's what I'm wanting to do. So on turret 1, they're taking it from 254 to 279 on the American T32. Yet it blows my mind that they still haven't readjusted the actual armor of the tank, because it's been in a broken state ever since 6.0. So on the armor on this tank, you have 76 millimeter top, 76.2 millimeter top, when it's supposed to be 38 millimeters effective armor, but they have not readjusted that, so it's still at a really bad state just because of that. Gun-wise though, turret, they should just label which turret they're actually going to be doing, because this is 254. They're going to readjust that to 279, which means 208, 203. You're basically going to be the T26E5, because that's 279, 215. So slightly worse than the T26E5, but that's equivalent to what it is for 279. Against tier 9, tier 10, you're not going to stand a chance with it, but if you're top tier, it'll work out. Speaking of which, what's the reload? 8.3? Put that turret on. 8.03, so nothing really changed with the armor on that. So 298. See, and then the fully upgraded turret. Like, I mean, hold on. Power to weight 13.9. Stock turret 14.59. So I mean, you do get a power to weight advantage if you want to run the stock turret though. If they bump it up to 279, you can get that medium power to weight. Move around the map pretty quick. But for top speed at 35, the 13 that you get on this, there's no point in... At 13.9, it's half a ton difference. Not really going to make a huge difference inside the field. But 279 on that top plate. T28, reload increase, 0.4 seconds, 440 alpha from 420. A 0.5 second and 0.4 second increase on the T28 prototype. Honestly, T28 prototype, I kind of feel like playing this again. I bought it back forever ago and stopped using it. Bone Shaker, if you want me to be honest about the Bone Shaker, increasing the alpha of this thing, I'd rather leave it at 400 and please just give me that 6.2 second reload, because murdering the reload like this, that's the advantage that this thing has, is being able to track people. T22 prototype, I do believe I have the tier 1 T22 prototype. I do. So tomorrow, that's going to be kind of fun to play. I wonder how they're going to be readjusting it inside the matchmaker. Germany tier 10. So we got the E50M, no alpha readjustments, but a massive reload buff from 9.4 to 8.7, and then a whole 0.1 second taken off of the aim time, which honestly, if you're at 2.3 or lower, it's really comfortable aim time. So honestly, they could have just got away with the reload and not touched the aim time. But this thing's going to be super responsive now. Did they ever remove the heat from the E50? Like they did with the Leopard 1? I don't think they did, because I think the Leopard 1, that's what it was exclusive to. So we still have heat, and then Leopard 1 has a PCR. Yep. All right, that's nice to see. So E100 reload, another reload buff on this thing. It was originally like 8.4 seconds, but we're losing rapid loading. So we're not going to see this buff like be massively effective, but it will help people stay within the comfort zone. 2.1 aim time, increasing the accuracy. They're removing steady aim, so a lot of accuracy increases. You'll not really notice them because they're still going to be bad compared to what they were prior to the 6.0 screw up. The mouse haul, this is one that I commented on. Armor panel 11, 250 to 50 millimeters is actually the belly armor of the mouse, because this is another mess up that they made. Whenever I saw this and then I went back through the American patch notes, I was very confused because I was all like, hey, are they finally fixing it? No, they're not fixing it. They were completely ignoring it. So the belly of the mouse is 250 millimeters, and they're probably going to be making both of these plates 50 millimeters, because you got the actual 50, which is the entire top section, and then that rear section is 250, which makes no sense, and then the belly. So those were typos whenever they first originally did it. So these are going to be getting changed to 50. Your belly, and then your rear buttocks upper armor. Very specific situations that you'll find yourself in that these are actually going to matter. For instance, HE underneathing the tank will make a difference whenever you splash underneath it. This is something I liked just because whenever you play the mouse, you don't have any really hardcore weak spots whenever artillery is splashing underneath you. So it's not going to be as already survivable as it was prior, starting tomorrow. E50, aim time buff for the 88, aim time buff. So we got the L71 and then the L100. So the L71 is the small 88 aim time increase. It's going to be nice. And then the L100 is your large 88 for, ooh, that's actually a pretty big buff in the aim time, 2.7 to 2.3. That's going to make it really nice. That's on turret 1 though. Turret 2, aim time 2.4, L71, L72, we're looking at 2.1, and then with a 105, 2.3. Honestly, the 88 is competitive on the E50. It's been competitive for a long time. That reload, you could get it down to like 4.3 seconds, and it would get really gross. Perma-tracking people, catching them out in corners, yeah, you could really make that nasty. E75, this entire buff for the E75 confuses me, just because it got buffed forever ago. The thing's absolutely amazing. And the one that's going to really matter is the 128 buff. They're increasing the reload time by a whole second, increasing the accuracy by 0.01, and then the aim time from 2.5 to 2.3. Okay, E75 is going to be a lot scarier starting tomorrow. The VK4502A, tier 9. Hull armor panel 1, this is the upper plate. I believe it's the upper plate from 200 to 220. I have stats open right here, so I can easily just boop over to tier 9, take a look at this, and then I do believe it is a 200 millimeter. There's a couple 200 millimeter plates. It's the upper plate, and then around the turret ring. So I wonder if they're going to be doing the turret ring with it. This says armor panel 1, which could just mean upper plate, the 220. We'll find out tomorrow, though. This is going to be one that I'm going to be playing just because if they can finally make this thing worthwhile, I want to know first by playing it. Dispersion vectors while moving. It's a good increase. And then on chassis 2. So chassis 2, are they talking about like tracks? It's got to be tracks. 0.17 dispersion value while moving. Moving in rotation. Okay. Gun-wise, 128, 6 degrees of gun depression from a whole second, knocked off the reload again, 2.3 aim time. 105 is competitive, so you get from 5 to 6. I kind of feel like the 105, they should give it 7 just because it's a smaller barrel. And the reload from 9.9 to 9.5. Accuracy to 0.33. That's going to be your, yeah, if you run the 105, that's got some really good accuracy. And what is it, 227 center pin? 225 center pin? Compared, and then APCR, like 287? Maybe. Indy Panza, this one confuses me because that thing is performing really good right now. Panther 2, terrain resistance readjustments, nothing super crazy. You're just your medium terrain getting put to 1. Jesse 2, medium terrain, staying the same, soft terrain, getting an advantage. So you're not going to notice much difference between the traction unless you're on soft terrain because of that. Because for your hard terrain at 0.8 compared to like 0.9, the difference between that is very minuscule because you're below the baseline. So you'll notice it, but just not as much. View range increase from 380 to 390. A couple of these are going to be all right. Then L100 reload speed from 7.8 to 7.4. L71 7.8 to 7.4. These both got the same reload. Kind of feel like make the worst one slightly better on reload. That way you have a reason to use the worst one. Just lose the penetration advantage. Tiger 2, I'm still confused on why they're buffing the Tiger 2. Just because they just buffed this. And they're giving it another reload buff. Which means that this is now the best 360 alpha gun in the game for Tiger 2. That's all that this means. But it is the tech tree variant. It's none of the premium versions. So the tech tree variant is going to be amazing. Now, this is one I saw. And I'll be honest, whenever they first built the VK4502PA Augusta F, I was mad. And to this day, I still am mad. Because I am a huge fan of the VK4502A. I 3-marked it with only standard rounds, and then they changed it. So originally, I had a 7.2 second reload, or like a 7.5 second reload with 320 alpha, and that's considered a comfortable reload with that alpha type at 320. But then they took it away, and now I got an 8.3 second reload, but 360 alpha. The trade-off being that I don't have the potential to constantly track people like I used to and throw out shells left and right. But I guess the additional 40 damage, I can't complain because it's nice to have. Just, I feel like they murdered my boy. I like this tank a lot, and I would rather have 2 versions of the 105 that I can choose between the 320 fast fire or the 360 slow fire. Like, I would rather have a choice between those two because they gave this tank the finger in my eyes whenever they did that. Just because I like my rate of fire. But they are going to be doing the 8 centimeter. They did remove the stock 88. Speaking of which, what was the stock 88 on this? I don't like the fact that they're removing the stock weapons on these tanks just because it's a massive takeaway. Yeah, 160, 220, you can get away with that. 160, 220 is not a nerf, especially since you got a reload. Well, no, let's not do that. Yeah, a 4.58 second reload. What's the alpha? 240? Okay, 240 is bad. And then you do the 105, you do the 88, 280. That rate of fire increase is massive. 5.45. I mean, in terms of reload, using the big 88's better. I prefer the 105 in this tank. Just because bigger gun. Sure, mildly less pin, but that's not a disadvantage. Alrighty. Tiger 2. Oh, tier 2. They're going to be readjusting to this tier 3. And yeah, see, they're increasing gold value, which I think is just wrong. That thing's going to be hate in tier 3. UK FEs. I've already seen a lot of these. They're doing a lot of the 420s and the 440s. They're giving the Chieftain the 440 Alpha, which is just going to irritate everybody. If you want me to be honest, the way that I feel about this and why I'm kind of rushing through it is because I'm not happy about this. Everything that they are giving us is everything that we've been asking for, but nothing that we want. There is nothing on this list that the player base actually wants. Buying all the cool camos. Oh yeah, that's right. They reset at the end of the season because Wargaming is they expect you to, have a full-time job playing the game. Yeah, this thing being bumped up to 420 tier 8. That's going to be kind of gross. And thank you for the reminder because I would have never thought about it. Because it doesn't tell you in game. Like, nowhere here in game does it say that, hey, you're going to be losing your regiment points if you don't spend them today. So I guarantee you're going to have a lot of people that have like 15,000 regiment points right now, and it's all gone tomorrow because they've been saving up to get their hands on the ARMT, but no one's going to be able to get it at all. Well, they've got timers on them for 9 hours that they're going to be gone in 9 hours. So, what do I want to get? Are these metallic? They're emblems. All right, I don't really care for emblems just because they're not big and flashy. All right, that's ugly. That's ugly. God, that's horrible. That's ugly. That's ugly. That's ugly. None of these look good. But the red and black. Blue and black? Oh, that does not look good. There you go. That's some traditional colors. Too stripy. I'm gonna buy a couple sets of these. There we go. Anything on here for 1,000? 1,250. These emblems? They are emblems. I guess we'll get the sprocket. There we go. Spent all my rig points. Happy-go-lucky me. All right, object 140, health increase. They're also increasing its view range and its reload rate. View range to 410 meters, and then where's the concealment on this thing? I don't remember if the 140's got good concealment or not. Something I can look at right now, actually. So we got tier 10, Russian. Object 140. 279, 287, 277, 202, 293. Isn't the 140 the best concealment? About like 10 sets. I mean, there's a chance that this thing's concealment is good because I have a... No, 264. It's got good concealment. And they're going to be giving a 410 base view range. All right. Well, 140 is going to turn into a medium scout rather than anything else for the player base. But okay, I guess that is what they want. Concealment factor still moving. They're increasing it by a total of 6.5%. Wait, 6.5? No, 5.5%. And then increasing the movement at 23.6. Okay. We're paneling 140 to 160. What is the one? Heard Clone Guy talking about it, but I sat there. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. So we got the 140, which could be upper plate, which really, I mean, if we're being honest, like, look at this. Like, why would you buff the upper plate? That thing is so tiny. You're not using this to brawl. 160. It would make sense if you did the turret armor that much. Make it a better haul down fighter. Armor paneling 180 to 200 millimeters. So I think that armor panel 3 is referencing the actual turret cheek sides to 160, and then this 180 to 200. Which, if we're being honest, 200 is not going to really matter a whole lot. Because once they start loading heat, it's not going to matter at all. You're just going to get torn through like you're made of paper. 160 to 180. I don't know about like rest in peace to those ones, because the T-22, it just needs a reload buff. If that thing got a reload buff, it'd be worthwhile. T-62A, 6.3 to 6.1. That thing's already got really good reload to begin with. Even before 6.0, you can get it down to like 5 point something. Right now, you can get it down to like 4.3, 3.8 if you got last stand on. Aim time to 1.9, super responsive gun. Thing is that these are still not going to be played because they do 320 alpha. A lot of people who play these tanks and hit for 320 alpha, their too punishing to make it worthwhile to pull out to try to do anything with. So that's why you don't ever see these in the field, because people don't like them. And then on this big bad boy, a 0.6 second increase to reload, 0.02 accuracy improvement, aim time from 2.8 to 2.7 on the 705, 705A. That's going to make a big difference indeed. Another thing is a lot of you guys got to remember, tomorrow we're also getting the 4th equipment slot. So a lot of the stuff that you're looking over on these tanks, for instance, like the 277, this is PC standard at 950 horsepower from 895, but I run camo net on my 277 just because this thing is a very effective heavy tank with a camo net. You'll be surprised at how it works out. I say give it a try and then snipe at range. You'll notice how big of a difference it makes. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be able to run pretty much whatever I want on my 277 and not care, because that 4th equipment slot is going to absolutely break the game tomorrow. So, yeah, like I run a power terrain on mine right now, so I play with 939 power to weight, which just means that tomorrow I'm going to have better power to weight on my 277 without really caring. For instance, right here, I run right there, 900. Oh, I can't draw. I have to open up my mini viewer. Speaking of which, there was a big update that came out, so I wonder. Open projector. Nope, that doesn't work. So, canvas? Oh. Let's kill the window. What happened to my new window? Here we go. Can I draw on this? No, my whiteboard no longer works with an OBS update. Thank you, OBS. I now have to try and get an update for my whiteboard. You dicks. Unless their most recent update that I skipped out on right now was the update I needed to do. I got a whiteboard that I can use red. Haven't heard anything about it? Well, they mentioned it in the stream. So, starting tomorrow, if Sixth Sense is gone, if everything else is gone, then we know. Because more than likely it is tomorrow. Because I don't think that they told us a week beforehand to not do it immediately. Your 9430U, increasing the yaw limit for the turret by an additional 30 degrees. Oh, that's a big improvement. T54. Yeah, let's buff the T54 again. Dear God. Why? T54 is already in a really good state. The reason why it sucks is because it does 320 alpha. 705, accuracy improvement, gun improvements, accuracy improvement on the big boy gun. Turret 2, reload improvement on the big boy gun from only a 0.5 increase. Not too crazy. 257, 11.6 to 11.3, aim time 2.7. The problem with this that I have is just we're getting everything but nothing we asked for. That's all it is. Big boy gun. Oh no, super big boy gun. Here we go. From 11.4 to 11.1. No. The BL9 is the bad gun. 113.1A is the good gun. So it's getting an overall accuracy improvement from 0.4 to 0.37. So you get 0.37 on the base gun too. So you're not going to see much of a difference between those two. That's unfortunate. It's always good to feel like you're being rewarded rather than consistently landing every single time you fire. It's like, I'd rather have it like, hey, this thing's got this is a 0.39. Congratulations, you upgraded to 0.37. Nope. Doesn't work that way. ST1. This is one that I wanted to look at because I don't feel like the ST1 is underperforming. Then again, I can't say much. It's been a minute since I played it. But we got the, what is it, the 140? Because this is on the hull. Okay. Which panel of 140 are we talking about? Because the entire thing is 140. If it's the upper plate, maybe. I guess we'll find out tomorrow whenever the buff drops if it's the upper plate. Because if you're gonna do 150, why not just do the front and then the two sides? Not the actual side armor, but the additional sides. Or make the sides 180 so you can actually kind of overextend yourself in a really deep angle, and then still have at least reliable side hull. That is considered a weak spot. Then you get 160 to 180. So lower plate is going to be bumped up to 180. Yeah, I don't see the benefit of that. And then 200 to 205. So that's the driver's hatch from 200 to 205. And then armor panel 13 from 140 to 155. So again, that might be... So frontal hull might be 155, or it might be 150. And then the side panels here might be 155. According to what I'm reading. I'm very lost in this right now. What they're doing. Turret armor, that's in turret 1. Turret 1, they're going to be doing a little bit of armor readjustment to 170 to 220, 170 to 180. I guess I'll have to play this thing stock tomorrow. And then armor panel 2 from 200 to 220. So they're buffing the hatch to 220. I don't like that. That's going to make it to where you have to load premium against it as a tier 8 or tier 7. That is a takeaway. T44. Play it right, not a big problem. The health increase is going to be nice though. 1250 to 1350. Use the 85. That's the Chad move. Oh my goodness. 5.4 to 4.5. Isn't the 85 on this 180 damage? Or is it 180 or 160? I actually have no idea what it is. But I know if you use it, you're going to be hating life. $85mm. It is 180. 160, 220. That's the same penetration as the Augustus A stock gun. So I'm surprised that they're not actually removing that based upon what we've been looking at. And are they doing any view range buff? No, it doesn't look like they're buffing the view range, so you're stuck at 370. They bumped it to 380, that'd be nice. And with the fully upgraded turret, you got 5.4 with the stock turret. And tomorrow, it's going to be a 4.5. That's going to be kind of gross. Load APCR. 220 pin APCR. That'd be okay. I'd have to play this thing stock with the stock gun tomorrow. Because that looks gross at 4.5. Because its module damage should be like 80. Module damage, where are you? No, it's 115. 2 shots and you break tracks. You're going to have to reload to be able to do it consistently. ISM, armor panel 1, 130 to 140. That is the frontal hull. That's front hull. I think that's front hull. So ISM 130 to 140. Yeah, that's front hull. From 130 to 140. So that's at a super slant right now. Then they're going to be bumping it up to 140. So I wonder what that's going to actually lead to, because it's super easy to pin right now. Just got to keep really good track. So they got 130 here. Let's max out the gun depression 5 degrees. That's 226, that's 240, 215, 210. So this will be effective 225-ish. And then it'll slowly go up from there. And then your top out be effective like 260mm. So this is going to be, if you're loading standards, you're not going to pin it. Because of distance from this thing. Flatten out the gun. Get some distance. 223. And distance to pen. Because this is probably 300 meters if you're looking at it from this far. Or maybe 150. 220, 225. Yeah, standards will bounce off this left and right if they're loading standards. If you slightly slanted ever so up. Yeah, people are struggling. APCR. APCR is an effective 235. Gonna be about 245 now. And you're probably gonna be looking at about 270 near the top with the 140 that they're gonna be implementing. That's gonna be worth a test. Weird, funky angles right here. Terrain resistance readjustments. Turret armor. All right, not worried about that. Turret number 2 is gonna be left alone. Stock turret though. Oh my goodness, 225. What do we have on the standard? 250. All right, isn't the stock turret? Doesn't it have like a big goofy hatch? Oh, it does. That's gonna be so bad. But they're taking it from 100 to, that's probably gonna be armor panel 9. So that's gonna be 100 millimeters. No. 90. They're taking to 100. So the hatch is gonna be getting up to 100. And then the armor panel behind the gun, right here, 130 is gonna be readjusted 200 millimeters. And then armor panel 2 at 100, which is the top section probably right there, readjusted to 200 millimeters. And then the thick point right here, 130, is going to be readjusted to 225. Wait. 100. That 130 is getting bumped up to 200. Okay. So both these plates are 225. Is what they're going to be readjusting these to. That's going to be kind of gross for the stock turret. I'm going to leave the stock turret on it. So you got your 130, which is the main gun mantle, and then the armor panel behind it, 100 to 200. Also increasing the reload of the 122 and 5, and the D25T. That's your 175, 217 pin. KB4. Armor panel 1, 180 to 200 millimeters. So that's frontal armor. $180 to 200. So the front bar is getting buffed. Yeah, it's the same concept of what they did to the Kloskowski KB4. They're bumping that from 180 to 200. Kind of pointless if you ask me, just because like it's a side scraping tank. I mean, sure, you're gonna increase that armor and then forget about it. View range increase 350 on the stock turret, 370 on the fully upgraded turret. There we go. Slight reload increases, nothing too fancy on the stock turret. What about the upgraded turret? 107 from 10 to 9. 122 from 12.1 to 11.4. That's not bad. We're not going to notice much of a difference with the reloads though, with because they're removing rapid loading. So these slight reload increases, we're still going to be feeling like we got nerfed, hit with the banhammer. There's a couple of tanks in the, like the tech tree tanks tomorrow are going to be absolutely disgusting compared to any premium. I'm kind of hoping for that. AMX30B readjusted the 420 alpha. This irritated me because it's like the Leopard 1 was supposed to have that custom 420 alpha and be happy about it, but it's not going to. Penetration on the Batchat 2510. We already went over that. Project Murat 420 alpha. Yeah, the Foch is going to be gross to 440. Who cares about the 4-second reload time? The thing's going to drive around the map anyways. Once he's loaded, that's just going to tear through people. Yeah, tomorrow's going to suck. Tier 9 MX-30, one of your prototype? Yeah. So far, though, I haven't seen any really broken ones. Because when they first did the 6.0 patch, there was, like, the armor readjustments was absolutely insane. MX-5120. They're not readjusting. So for the French, they're leaving all the heavy tanks alone. That is unfortunate for the alphas. The AMX M450, that is armor panel 1 from 160 to 180. Is that the... 160, 180. Is that the upper plate? M4 mile. Am I looking at the wrong tier? No, I'm looking at tier 9. Tier 9. Armor panel from 160 to 180. Is that the only armor panel that they're talking about? For the turret? Oh, for turret 1. Okay, I'm a Muppet. So does that mean that they're also buffing the stock turret? From 180? No, 160. So, armor panels. Are they talking about the hatch? From 160 to 180? Or the side cheeks? That's not going to be good. If they're buffing hatches again, that's going to be a big problem, especially in tier 9. 440 alpha. 440 alpha. 440 alpha. All right, so you guys are buffing the alpha to 440, but what about the 560? Or okay, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it ever so slightly. I'm getting a phone call. Phone's going off, and then I'm gonna look at this. Okay, so if you're gonna be going after 440 alpha with your stock gun, because you get 257 pin, and then with your premium rounds, you get 315. Then whenever you upgrade your gun, you're going to get 250 and then 290 AP pen. But you only get 470 alpha. So what is the benefit? 12.68 second reload compared to 10.57. And then over here, they're increasing its reload from 12.5 to 13.7. Okay, 13.7. So then we're going to come. I just closed out that one. That's not what I want to do, but I guess thank you. I am a Muppet. I messed it up. Where were we at? We were in the Frenchy boys, right? France. Okay. So 11.4. Reload. They're not adjusting. Okay, reload from 10.4 to 11.4. So a second increase compared to. All right, so 11.4 compared to 4 rounds, so it's 15-second base. 15-second base compared to 4.5. That's a turret one. So AMX M451. No, I'm looking at the wrong tank. I'm a Muppet. To 13.7. from 12.5 to 13.7. 12.5 to 13.7. Between these two guns, you lose the competitive gun. They're both bad now. They're both identical. There's no point to use the 127 anymore. 120 is going to be completely dominant. That's... What? Foch is going to be broken. Okay, here we go. The Tier 8 AMX 65 ton. I don't feel like this thing needs a buff, personally. Because, dude, think of it like a T-34. It's getting the 440 alpha with the 15-second reload. Oh, that's gross. You've already got 245 standard pin, 285 premium pin, and now you're just going to be tearing through everything. Oh, nasty. Okay. 100 millimeter. Getting a slight buff. I don't see the point in the 263 to 271. I don't see the value to that. Just put Iron Mace on, and then you don't have that problem in distance pen. They're increasing the reload speed too. That is kind of gross. X5100. Honestly though, I'm not excited about this. And then they're increasing the reload. They're giving it a 320 alpha, increasing the reload by 0.6 seconds. I don't feel like this is needed. I really don't, because each time that they try to do gun readjustments on premium tanks, they ruin them. Like, you're completely changing the field. There's no point to completely change the field. 11.5 to 12.4. This is going to be like it was pre 6.0 with everyone complaining about all the guns feeling like they take a year and a half to reload. They're causing more problems is what they're doing. Siege mode, automatic, manual. Unfortunately, all the tanks that need the manual are not getting the manual. Instead, the STB1, which I don't care about, is getting the manual. Yeah, I don't care about the STB1. I don't care about the Type 61 either. There's a lot of these on here that's like, yeah, finally we're getting the buffs on them that they've needed forever. STA1, this thing has been buffed I don't know how many times. Forward speed from 45 to 50. Okay, fine. So it's not a patent anymore. It's not patent speed with no armor. Slightly reload increase. Honestly, though, a lot of this buff list, it feels completely pointless to go over. Because, sure, we can look at all the stats, but we're not going to know any of the stats properly until we're actually able to play and see the differences that is made. Like, the armor is going to matter. For instance, like, turret 1 armor paneling readjustments on the 110. I'm going to probably... So I got the ISM that I got to play stock, and then I also have the 110 that I got to play stock tomorrow to check out the new turret armor. But it just feels completely useless to look over any of this right now until tomorrow. Until the perks are redone and until the equipment is redone. This feels completely useless to look over right now. Because, yeah, I'm not excited. Like, if anything, this has actually got me angry. Because we don't need, like, seeing all these alpha readjustments, the only thing I see is Tier 8 is going to be shredding Tier 6 now. Because if they're going to be taking the Tier 8 French and giving it 440 alpha, with that penetration, it's just going to farm Tier 6 all day. And then rapid mode, yeah, sorry, but what is rapid mode? Again, is that turbo? Is that turbo mode? Is that speed mode? Okay, thanks for the clarification. Yeah, 34% in rapid mode. Switch time 2 seconds. So they're CS59 and then the CS53 are both getting turbo mode. Rapid mode. Whatever the hell it's called. I don't think it matters. Nah, looking at this, it's just irritating me now. Yeah, speed mode. Like EBR, but you have to stop. Well, EBR is not a speed mode. That's a turn mode. That's a quickie flippy mode. That's turn me on and hit a tree while a foot in the air and watch yourself roll and die. Dude, yeah, this is just irritating me. Are they increasing the reload? Wait. Wait. What? What tank is this? Oh, Mod 66. Are they bringing it back? They are bringing it back, dude. Okay, good. However, why are you doing this? Don't do 13, 15, 17. Do 12, 15, 18, 20. Please, dude, don't nerf it. This is a nerf. This is a nerf. This is not a buff. This is the problem that you guys have. Leave the reload it is, but just add the fourth shell at 20. Problem solved. This is a buff. You're taking away the average damage. Nerf. That's a nerf to this. That's not helping it. That's going to help it though. 250 to 281. But it doesn't matter because you already have 281. What's the benefit of the extra 8 millimeters of penetration? Nothing. And then on the 1262, which is the 120, they're going to be doing a 420 alpha. Okay, but they're not readjusting the high explosive. All right. It is Hesh, so I mean, I guess I can get that. Centauro Mark II too. 420 alpha. Yeah, it's still got the weak spot though. Pantera. Aim time, aim time. Aim time's all they're adjusting on the Pantera. Except for turret 2, they're doing a slight reload adjustment. Okay. 7 to 9 seconds. Wait, hold on. 9, 11, 7, 9. Seven, 9. Pantera. I like the Pantera. Pantera's good. So, what are they talking about? 7, 9. Are they giving this thing a reload buff? 7, 9? That confuses me though, trying to read that. It's got 863, 10. So are they buffing the last 2 rounds? Or the first 2 rounds? I'll have to see that tomorrow whenever I log on. So that's a little confusing. Alright, CC Mod 54. This is one of my favorite heavy tanks in the game. Medium terrain buff. That's going to make this thing stupid. It already goes 45. Oh, it's going to be so stupid. Oh, I'm going to love it. What if I was going to get a dispersion buff and aim time buff? See, that aim time buff, we're going to fill that. But accuracy-wise, we're not going to fill that because steady aim's gone. Unless it's still here tomorrow. Then we won't fill it. Viper 420. Problem is that I would rather have the 400 alpha with the 38-second reload. But I guess it doesn't matter. Because it's a very rare tank. Like, this is rare enough that I don't know why they're buffing it. See, that's what confuses me on why they're doing all these alpha changes to these gun categories. Chisel needs a nerf, not a buff. Thank you. Power to weight needs to take a shit inside the tank. Machine, standard pin, 248 to 255. Like, what's the benefit to that? 7 millimeters doesn't do anything. And Cruncher. Cruncher always gets buffed though. This thing is so bad. Alrighty, well, I'm not excited for tomorrow. I guess slightly. But yeah, I'm not ready in the slightest. Anyways, you guys, that's my take on this. I'm not excited. I was going to play a few matches, but I'm hungry. I've been hungry for a while. And I'm cranky. So, I'm hangry. I'm going to go eat some food, kick back, relax, watch a show, and pass out. Because I originally wasn't going to be doing anything today for the game, but I decided to look at a few things and give my 2 cents on it. But in all reality, I'm not excited because it doesn't look good. It looks like it's just going to make things worse. You know, give it time. We'll see if it works out. But something tells me that all the alpha buffs, nothing's going to be different tomorrow compared to what it is today. I got this feeling that it's not going to matter. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Take it easy.